Hello and welcome to another exciting demonstration of xACTION, the bridge between xAPI and enterprise systems. I'm your host, Art Workentine. Today we are going to look at how xACTION facilitates the integration of xAPI statements with a system that does not speak xAPI, Accredible. Specifically, we are going to look at how xACTION can be used to create a digital badge in Accredible. Accredible is a digital credentialing service providing digital badges that support the Mozilla Open Badges 2.0 standard. They also provide digital certificates. More importantly for us, Accredible has a full-featured REST API. In this video, xACTION is going to be the bridge between xAPI statements and Accredible's REST APIs. For example, perhaps it takes two things to determine that a student has earned a badge. Student completes some training, and student passes an exam. So over time, two xAPI statements are sent to xACTION, possibly from different systems or learning record stores. xACTION then matches those statements to rules. When both are met, xACTION will make an outbound REST API call to Accredible to add the badge. So I've jumped over to xACTION now, and let's take a look at the service that I created to call Accredible. I got the endpoint from their documentation on the Accredible website. I know it's a JSON payload, and I actually copied and pasted the JSON payload from their site under their documentation, and I took out things I didn't want because I just wanted to simplify this. I'm using the new text for JSON properties feature of xACTION. If you haven't seen that before, there's another video in this series that covers that. So in my recipient, I've pasted in the token for the actor name, actor mailbox, and I've got a group ID that identifies the badge. But because I'm going to want to award different badges for different things that a student might do, I haven't filled that in the service. I'll fill it in on each outbound action. And then finally, I've got the issued on date as the last timestamp formatted as year, month, day format, because that's what Accredible expects. Now next I want to look at the headers because that's where the authorization to call Accredible is placed. So I've got an authorization header and it's using a token type of authorization, and you can get your code for that from your Accredible account. Next we're going to go over and take a look at the trigger. Now on the trigger page I've set up a trigger for Accredible to assert a badge, and let's look at the rules for that. They're fairly simple. As I mentioned in the presentation portion of this video, I'm going to have a course completion, which is a prep course for the exam, and then after that there is the exam itself. If I look at this rule, it's fairly simple. I've got a completed verb. It's for a particular course identified by the object IRI, and the activity type is a course. Success must be true and completion must be true in order to meet that rule. For the other rule, I've got the exam. So you take the certification exam, you have to have a past verb. It's for a particular object, which is the certification exam, and the activity type is an assessment. In this case, I've also added that the score must be greater than or equal to 95. So when both of these rules are met, xACTION will fire off the outbound action. So let's go take a look at that next. So we'll look at the outbound action, calling it create credential. It's a REST API, obviously, and the type that you have to send is a post according to the documentation. I used the Accredible's service that we created earlier, and it copied in the endpoint and the property type and also the JSON. So the only thing I've really changed here is indicating the group ID, which will assign a particular badge. So the only thing we have left to do is test it. So this is my statement sender tool that you've seen in previous videos. I'll go ahead and send the statement, and the statements were sent. So the next thing to do is to check to see that we got an email indicating that a badge has been awarded. So I received an email from Accredible indicating that I got my digital badge. There's a link that you can click to go view the badge on the Accredible site. So our setup in xACTION for calling Accredible and awarding a digital badge worked. I hope you've enjoyed this video on using xACTION to receive xAPI statements and award a digital badge in Accredible. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or just want some help setting up your xACTION project, please feel free to contact us. We'd love to help.